UFC 226, breaking news from Ariel Helwani. Max Holloway pulled out last minute against his bout versus Brian Ortega for the featherweight belt. They said that his team reported that Max was having concussion-like symptoms, that he actually was admitted to the hospital. He stayed overnight. They cleared him. He came back, but he was still having concussion-like symptoms, slurring his words, things like that. So they unfortunately pulled him out of the fight. He's been having this issue since last week. Obviously, you know, Max Holloway is a true fighter and a champion, so he was trying to fight through it. But I mean, that's scary, dude. When you have concussion-like symptoms, if you're passing out and they can't wake you back up, that's very, very scary. So honestly, this sucks as a fan because I really wanted to watch that fight. That to me was the best fight on that card. But I think you know, you gotta do what's right for your health. Your health comes before everything else. So I'm sure that fight's gonna be rescheduled. I'm sure we're gonna see it down the line. I don't think this is intentional by Max or anybody on his team. It just happened, unfortunately. It sucks, but these things does happen. As MMA fans, as UFC fans, we should be used to this by now. You know, there's something weird about this International Fight Week card. Ariel Helwani put it on Twitter. This is like 4 or 5 years in a row that a main event or a co-main event has fallen through. International Fight Week 2015 was UFC 189, Chad Mendes versus Conor McGregor, but originally it was actually Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo, and then Jose Aldo pulled out at the last minute. Chad Mendes stepped in on short notice. Obviously, UFC 200, John Jones, Daniel Cormier, that got pulled, and then you have Brock Lesnar. He was the new main event, and then they later changed it, and it was Miesha Tate versus Amanda Nunes. That was the new main event, so that was like a whole shitstorm. In 2017, you had UFC 213, Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero. Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw was originally supposed to fight there. Unfortunately, that fight fell through. Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko was supposed to fight there, but that got pulled through. And then Robert Whittaker versus Yoel Romero, that was the new main event. So literally, this is 4 years in a row where the main event or the co-main event has you know, been canceled at the last minute due to all sorts of freak injuries. So I think if you are a main event or a co-main event and you're going to fight next year, International Fight Week, you should probably decline that and fight at a later time or an earlier time. Now, as far as, you know, Brian Ortega, if he's going to fight somebody, you know, I hope they don't put a freaking interim title on the line here, okay? We don't need any interim titles. I think Max Holloway, he's going to be back soon. So Brian Ortega, is he going to get a fight? I don't know. Most likely he's not going to be able to get a fight. I think Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis, that's probably going to be promoted to a co-main event. You know, and then we might see, you know, Paul Felder versus Mike Perry, man. That might go on the main card. You know, that's definitely a fight that a lot of people want to see. I know that's on Fight Pass, but maybe that goes up to preliminary, and then you have Rafon versus Rafael Asensio. Maybe that goes up to main event. But one of these fights are going to go up to a main event, and we're going to have a 5-card main event. It's still a great card, guys. I'm still super excited for the card. It's still one of the biggest fight cards of the year. It sucks that this happened, but I still can't wait for this Saturday, UFC 226, and hopefully Max Holloway is healthy. I hope it's not a big deal. I hope that, you know, he recovers well, and I hope he and Brian Ortega can reschedule this at a later time, maybe a month or 2 months from now. And I hope that Brian Ortega, whether he fights or not, I hope he gets his show money still. At the very least, gets his show money, because unfortunately, you know, this is not his fault, but these things does happen. And you know, we'll see going forward. But like I said, I'm still super excited about UFC 226, and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you check out my live reactions coming in.